I don't have 18 miles today, and another 17 will hurt me a lot.
I'm speaking myself.
It's a damn professional.
Whatever campsite we had,
I'll call ahead.
tell them to get a fire going.
Yeah, that was a major oversight. Well, I did the same thing last year when I started out segment 10 of the Mountains to Sea Trail, but yesterday was challenging. That's a good way to put it, challenging. We did 19 and a half miles. That's a lot. It's a lot for both of us. We sat around and tried to come up with a realistic plan for the rest of this trip, and decided that Clingman's Dome was not going to be an attainable goal on this trip, which I'm pretty disappointed about, I'm not going to lie. But one thing we learned yesterday is when you're tired and your body's hurting, you tend to start to slouch on your decision-making abilities. We made a few bad decisions yesterday. One being that we missed that turn on the trail while we were both cold. We got in last night to the campsite at 6:20, so we did 10 and a half hours of hiking yesterday. The only thing easy about yesterday was taking my pack off when we got to the end. There's nothing easy about hiking in this area. This trail is relentless. We've decided to not do Clingman's Dome, and we're gonna hike to campsite 51, which we passed by yesterday, and we're going to camp there tonight and then make our way back to Mingus Mill tomorrow. So it's about 8 miles I think today and 9 tomorrow, and then we'll call it a trip. Had to switch sides, my arm was getting tired. We'll be able to enjoy the trail a little more without the pressure of making miles, because Joe and I agreed that the experience we had yesterday is not something we're ready to repeat anytime soon. We decided that it's not worth getting hurt, and it's not worth having to get evacuated because we made bad decisions. So it's disappointing, but as I told Joe when we were eating breakfast this morning, you know, I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm disappointed that we didn't get to do this section of the MST in its entirety, but we're still out hiking and camping in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, which is a good day any day of the week, no matter where you are in the park. So we're going to hike a little bit today. We're going to make our way back through this really rough stretch of trail. Even though there's no elevation change, there are some pretty gnarly creek crossings that I got a little wet on yesterday. Granted, we were very tired yesterday going through them, so hopefully our coordination will be a little better, but whew, still a beautiful day, still good times. So this is the first of our stream crossings. This is the last one we had to do yesterday. Not There's no easy way to get across it, so we're gonna give it a shot. That's the come across the logs that we did yesterday. So hopefully we can make it across a second time without getting wet. Success! Joe's got much better balance than I do, and so he went standing up. I crawled across on all fours because I just don't want to get wet. And falling off that log, that wouldn't just be wet feet, that'd be wet everything. Onwards. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it yesterday, but looking on a map for this section of trail, the trail doesn't actually cross a contour line, which would make you think that it might be relatively straightforward, but this is by far the most technical section that we've done, and it's probably been a minute since any trail maintenance has been done, so we're ducking and dodging some fallen trees across the trail. But much better spirits than yesterday, that's for sure. Good times. So anybody that's familiar with the Smokies, maybe you can help me out here. I'm assuming this is considered high water, because this may look like a stream, but that's actually the trail right there. So we made it this far yesterday, and genuinely thought the trail had disappeared. So we're gonna go down this section of the trail, I guess if you can call it that. But this is one heck of a stream crossing. Good times. Because we might have wanted to go to Kids Cove.
Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot off the table. Like, if we were to replan this, even knowing, even just point to point, doing like this campsite one of the nights.
Yeah, so we've got this wall buster uphill coming up. And once we make it to that junction, we'll be off the MST at that point.
Alright, up to the ridge.
Do it. Alright. So we got about 4.5-ish miles under our belts, and now we've got a 1.5 mile climb up to a ridge line, and then we're going to part ways with the Mountains to Sea Trail and head it back down to campsite 51 that we passed yesterday. And we're gonna set up camp for the night there. Right now, I'm just gonna focus on getting up this hill. So I remember coming down it yesterday, and I was like, "Whew, it's gonna suck going back up." Yet another obstacle overcome. We hiked out the 1.5 miles from Deep Creek, and that's the last major uphill for today. We got a ever so steady decline down the Indian Creek Trail. I'm sorry, Martin's Gap. Yeah, we're going downhill. Campsite 51. Good times. Oh, and I almost forgot. That's the Mountains to Sea Trail that goes up that hill. That goes to Newton Bald. We are not going that way because Newton Bald is, you look down on everything from Newton Bald. It's pretty high. I want to say it's like 4,000 feet or something like that. I could be wrong. But yeah, we're done with uphills for today. Now it's good times. Well, little did we know that yesterday when we walked past campsite 51 that we'd be back. We've done a lot of backtracking on this trip. But it's just before 3 and we're making it to camp, so that's a significant improvement from yesterday. Good times. A little bit. I mean, as a consumer, if you're looking for a discount cart to get you in the door, this will do it. It's just so for the first time on this trip, Joe and I get to set up camp in daylight, which significantly less stressful than setting up in the dark like we did last night. But had my first night in my War Bonnet Ridge Runner hammock, and very, very happy with my upgrade. There wasn't anything wrong with the REI hammock. It did everything that I needed it to do, but there were just a few things here and there that I wish were different, and the War Bonnet Ridge Runner seems to meet all of those things that I was missing. So I got it set up underneath my tarp here. The tarp's nothing special. It's just from Amazon, but Ridge Runner in there. And Joe's got his Superfly over there. He's all decked out. I'll eventually upgrade my tarp, but one thing at a time. But I think we're gonna maybe get some firewood and probably chillax a little bit. I think some chillaxing's in order on this trip. Good times. So yesterday was a rough day for us, goes without saying, but we got to camp last night and it was dark, and we were both just zapped. Just energy, motivation, just it was rough. But so in the national park here, they've got bear cables. So instead of hanging your own bear line, they have bear cables where you're supposed to hang your food. There's steel cables, look a little something like that, but unlike this particular campsite, the campsite we had last night, all of these cables were hanging down straight. They weren't connected to these loops right here. So for the life of us, neither of us had camped here before, or camped in a national park before with these bear lines. We could not figure it out. And so we, my brother's got 3 engineering degrees, and we managed to rig it so that our food was about 5 feet off the ground, which is not quite bear bag standard, but PCT method, he says. Yeah, it's actually not the PCT method, but it was sort of, last night was a pseudo PCT method, but it was not very effective. So I think if a critter had actually been out here, it would have it could have had a good time with our food. But we got to figure it out for tonight. There will be no struggle bus like there was last night. Kind of winding down camp, or winding down the day. Very, very relaxed. Our bodies are unhappy with us. Every time one of us stands up from our chair, it sounds like some old man that's getting out of bed for the first time. A lot of grumbling, a lot of moaning. It's all part of the experience. Three-fourths cup seems like not a lot of water.
No. Considering Mountain House is 2 cups.